What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Chart Request Live. My name is Patrick Dunawilla. I am the editor of the Chart Report. We got Sam Gatlin with us. Sam, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
Oh, not much. So you guys know what it is. It's the People's Show. You guys bring the tickers. We'll chart them out for you. If you want us to take a look at them first, be sure to email us at questions@stockmarketmedia.com and we will get to them first. But it sounds like we got a pretty full mailbag here, Sam. Is that
We
right?
do, yeah. A lot of people requested. We took last week off, right, for Chicago.
Yeah, it was great meeting you in real life.
It
We do
was,
this all
yeah.
the time. We've talked a lot, more than I talk to most people, but it was really good time and I hope you had fun too.
I did, yeah. It was a great time. Happy to be back, though. Let's
So
get to it, Patrick.
before we jump into the mailbag, just quick thoughts about the broader market. Here we are breaking out of this 2 month consolidation here. Bigger picture, if we draw a fib from the base here of, the bear market, basically fib out that nasty 2022 bear market. We hit this back in July. We hit the first target, so to speak, back in July, and then we just flatlined. You can see we tried again in August, couldn't do it. Here we are. We finally did it. What I find interesting, though, is if we look at the Dow and we look at, do we do the same thing, right? We fib it out.
Yeah.
We're just now hitting that one.
Ooh,
So
that is interesting.
basically the Dow's in the same position that the S&P was back
Yeah,
in July. So, we're going to see this 2 month kind of correction in the Dow, maybe. And that would probably be, if, at the same time you have the S&P breaking out of its consolidation, you have this one
right.
hitting it. So maybe we'll see tech come back to life. NASDAQ's not even at all-time highs yet. So that would certainly be interesting, right?
Right. And I think that's the right takeaway from that is that we could see some sector rotation
Right.
away
And we
from like the
always hear,
financials. Oh, there's a lot of financials in the Dow. You've
yep.
got United Healthcare there at the top.
And Sam, didn't they do a great job holding it down while the S&P and NASDAQ were
They
correcting
did.
and
Exactly.
semis were correcting and
Right.
all those frothier areas that just couldn't keep going up? I mean, you just at some point they had to take a break. Dow did a great job, and some of those other sectors, like you mentioned, the financials, did a great job kind of holding it down. And I
Right.
think now it's their time, right?
Yeah. Utilities and industrials as well. I mean, there's been a lot of sectors step up and keep this bull market going while technology's struggled here for several
I
months.
agree. I agree. So is it still a green light for you? Still a bull market for
I
you?
think so. Yeah. I think that the Dixie's another big chart, Patrick, if you want to pull that up.
Yeah,
But if we're
absolutely.
getting lower dollars here, I mean, that's certainly not a headwind for risk assets in general. Um, and we're seeing the
Right.
silver move today in a big way.
Yeah.
We've got we've got a lot
You've
of
been all
action
over that
there.
silver one, so kudos to you on that one. But let's take a look at that actually. So silver, man, what a beautiful, beautiful chart. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you want to, how have you been drawing it? You calling it a head and shoulders or
Yeah, it's an accumulation pattern.
it's,
At the end
there
of the
you
day.
go.
You had that big move off the 2020 low. You've just been consolidating sideways for several years since then. And we're just now looking to put the finishing touches on this basing pattern. So I think
Yeah.
you want to be long a new leg higher here in silver and silver miners as well. I know Straza's putting on some options trades with breakout
He loves that
multiplier. I mean,
AG.
he likes the silver. We're
AG
in.
is his
Let's go.
go-to vehicle. Whenever
Yeah,
silver starts showing some life, he always goes to the AG.
yeah.
And you know what I like about the silver pattern too is just like how fractal it is, right? Like you have this
Mhm.
big head and shoulders or inverted head and shoulders, but then you zoom in here, you could draw one just like that one, but just on a smaller time frame here. I'm not going to
Right,
draw it out, but you see what I'm talking about, right?
right.
And
Yeah. And if you
and that
zoom
line's
out
kind
too,
of crazy.
Patrick, like I think this 49.50 level could be a magnet for silver. Kind of like how we've seen gold just be dragged up here recently. But if you zoom out more, and like,
Yeah,
I think it could get to that level pretty quickly once it
you're talking
resolves
about the
this pattern.
all-time highs, huh?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah. I mean, listen, it might sound crazy, but we've seen a lot of crazy things happen, right?
yeah, it's a precious metal bull market, Patrick. We haven't seen one of these in a long time.
It might take a little time to get through this 33, but I
Yeah,
think you're
33,
right. I think
35.
ultimately,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I think ultimately probably, this is shaping up to be a base, and it's just a matter of building out that
right.
right side of the base. And
Yeah,
then is it too soon to be talking about 68?
maybe too
Target?
soon.
Okay. Yeah, stop me there. Let's get into the mailbag, shall we?
One day we'll be talking about that.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
So Carol wants to look at EQIX. So this
All
is a
right.
data center REIT. It's a little bit over $84 billion. This looks really nice, Patrick. Thanks for bringing this to us, Carol.
Ooh. Wow, yeah. It looks very good. You said a data center REIT.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got real estate plus technology.
We've definitely been brought this one before. I've had it marked up before,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean she's calling it right. I mean, you could draw it as an inverse head and shoulders, but Sam, as you said, it's an accumulation pattern, right?
Right.
That's the main point here. You have this beautiful long-term uptrend here, primary uptrend, right? I guess we can zoom all the way back. Let's do that first. Oh, wow.
The dot-com bubble base.
Wow. So this is forming on top of that. That's even
Yeah.
better. Don't you love that when you keep
Yeah.
pulling the chart back and it just gets even better?
Yeah. That is the best. This is a
So
great chart.
yeah, so let's go all the way from 2019 here. You finally surpassed those dot-com bubble highs, right? And this is a data center REIT, right? So it probably got caught up in that. Now, is this technically real estate though? This is, yeah.
Yeah, it
So,
is. Yeah.
but it's got that tech component to it, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
And close to a 2% dividend.
oh, nice. So you tried to break out here in February, March of this year, couldn't do it, couldn't hold it. You did break out to all-time highs, but you got this sharp reaction. As we always say, out of fail moves come fast moves in the opposite direction. I didn't come up with that, by the way, but we do often say it. Anyway, here we are. We made it all the way back though, and we're giving it a second shot. We're already above where we broke out before, so it's just a matter of taking this out, and then all your old targets are back. And what does that look like?
And if you want to get involved in real estate, like this is an amazing vehicle
Yeah,
for that instead of trading like the XLRE.
right. Not too many REITs are in that primary uptrend. You can't say that
Right.
about a lot of REITs, right?
Yeah. I
So
also
I'd say,
love the data center REIT part of it. Like look
yeah.
at Iron Mountain. Like
Oh yeah, that's been a good one too.
I mean,
This is one of
these
those where
stocks
you
are
have,
different. Yeah. This is not real estate office space.
yeah. So that one, oops,
EQIX, what was the target on that?
it was like 1100 something, 1126, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
right
Perfect.
up there. But I like this one, and it already failed, right? We've already seen a failed breakout. So is it going to happen again? Probably not. But
Cool. Carol also wants to look at LPLA. Should we give her a second one, Patrick?
yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Because you know what? I remember last time I looked at this one, it looked pretty good. So,
Yes.
ooh,
So this
looks
is
like it's falling
about,
apart.
yeah, it has fallen apart. It's about $16.5 billion. It's labeled as capital markets.
Yeah, so this is LPL Financial. We know quite a few people that work here or used to work here.
Yeah, for sure.
So this one, you can see what I was talking about, right? Shaping up,
Yeah.
it was shaping up nicely.
Yeah. Looks like there was some
And
news that
you
came
got
out.
this nice breakout here. And this is why we say it, out of fail moves come fast moves, because as soon as it got below those former highs, as soon as that breakout started failing, you get this sharp reaction lower. And yeah, I think you really can't touch it until
Right. It's just
So it
back in the
reclaims
box
that.
for now.
right. I mean, maybe you could have tried to give it a shot here, and maybe you caught this, but I think overall you just don't want to touch it until this gets repaired.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, though, nice long-term uptrend. You just want to see it prove it to you first.
Right. Cool. Let's look at one for Nick here. FIS. This is Fidelity Information Services.
So is this
This
isn't
is $46 billion. This is, yeah.
Fidelity National Information Services, packaged software. Okay. So it's definitely not the financial company Fidelity.
No, no, it is not. There's a lot of Fidelities.
Is that even public?
No, no, there's not.
Uh,
There's like
so
the Fidelity Insurance Company. There's a bunch of them.
you got the first step towards a reversal. You had this downtrend since 2021, like a lot of things out there. But you broke out earlier this year, at the start of the year, and we've been running nicely. And it's shaping up this little base here. It might need a little bit more time in forming this base because remember, long-term uptrends take a while to really turn. Usually there's a basing process involved, right? Where it's, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of thing.
Right.
So I think you might see this one. You might see that here, kind of more of that frustrating basing. I do like that it's testing this level here. Hasn't
What
quite
happens if you fib
yet.
it out, Patrick?
What's that? Oh,
What happens if you fib it out?
It's a great question.
I think you've got the 38.2 coming in, yeah, right around here.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's really the level. You let
Yeah,
it
that's
break out
low.
from this rectangle you drew.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, especially if you look at these former lows right here that it had before it broke down really severely here. I think you're right. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. 89 is probably your level, 90 call it. It's above there, then you're looking at 115. 115 gets you back to the all-time highs of 160 there, or around there.
This is a good looking base though.
It is, yeah. It still has a little bit more work to do here. This could easily act as resistance. I wouldn't quite call it an uptrend just yet. I would say we broke. It's not a downtrend, right? We broke out of the downtrend, but I think you want to start seeing it. Maybe it gets rejected here, makes another low here, kind of that base keeps forming, and then maybe we give it another shot later. I'm just not sure that we just rip right through this and go back. I think it's going to be a little bit more frustrating than that.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. That's how these reversal patterns usually work out. You have a
Right,
few
right. They make
whipsaws around.
They make it impossible to buy the bottom, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
That's not on accident either.
Yeah. So this one, you're waiting for the breakout of 90. If you get it, 115 to 160.
Yeah. So let's move on to Dan's request. It's LOMA.
Loma.
Yep. So this stock is from Argentina. It's a building materials stock. They are cement producers, things like that. But pretty nice chart here. We're resolving a multi-year basing pattern.
At first it looked like a barcode, right? It was just, but you zoom out a little more, I see what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's your clear level. I mean, talk about a level of polarity. Acted as support nicely here, but then you got this ridiculous gap. I don't know what happened here, but we just have not been able to recover since.
No, but it looks like we're resolving it pretty decisively. Like, look,
right? Actually, yeah.
Candlestick.
Here we are blasting through it last week, and giving a little back this week, but not too much. That's a decisive breakout, and it would be completely normal to test a level given how significant it was. So maybe you get involved on this retest. I think that's probably the move. See it retest 8. Don't let it get below 750. And I think as far as playing it back, you want to play it back to that gap. It's very rare you see gaps in weekly charts, unless something gapped down on a Monday, basically.
Got cut in half.
Right.
Over the weekend.
Oh yeah, phew, could you imagine? We gotta look into yeah. Talk about a case of the Mondays. You come back from work your weekend and just boom.
Cut in half.
So that creates price memory. That
It
creates
does.
a lot of bag holders who are praying uh, to just get them back to break even. And when they do, they're inclined to be sellers, and that's kind of what creates that resistance. So with this one, I would like to get involved on a pullback to $8. Don't let it go below 750, and then you're playing it back to 12. But that's a nice move if you get it.
That is a nice move. Yeah, there's a trade here for
Yeah.
sure.
And
Let's-
you know what's even crazier about this, Sam?
yeah,
Look how bullish this candle was
I know, right? And
right
then
before it,
yeah.
and then just bam,
that must have been some bad news. I'd love to
it must
what
have
happened
been.
here. Some type
Like
of
you're going into your
candle.
weekend, it's Friday, you're feeling great, and then just 50% haircut like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Things like that happen in Argentina, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's look at Brookfield for Jeff.
And one other thing on that, Argentina has been one of the strongest international markets. So whoever
Yeah.
brought this one they're fishing in the right pond here, right? They're thinking along the right lines.
They are. Thanks for bringing that. I think that was Dan actually that brought it.
Nice.
Shout out Dan.
Shout out, Dan.
Jeff is up next. He's asking to look at Brookfield, ticker BN. So this is a Canadian asset manager. A little bit below 80 billion, but it could be there by the close.
Yeah. Sam, I don't think I need to remark this one. I think
No, this looks great.
we had it perfect here, and we got the breakout last week. You got confirmation this week, or you're getting confirmation, and yeah, I mean, they're seeing exactly what I'm seeing. Are you
What's the
seeing
target?
same thing?
Yeah, it's a nice base. Context of a long-term uptrend.
Yeah, looks like 64, 65 for your
Yeah.
target here, but that looks solid.
Yeah,
And it's got, this is a great kind of like teaching example of what we look for, right? First, you get the trend line break, then you get the basing, and then you get the breakout, and then you kind of play it to the extension.
right. Exactly. Great chart there.
Yeah. So this is,
Asset manager too. Like that's a good pond to be fishing in right now.
yeah, for sure. What do we got next? More in the
Let's
middle?
look at it's Entergy. ETR is the ticker. This one comes from Wavy McFly.
Wavy.
As it's a massive base. So zoom out on
I
this
was
one.
gonna say, if it's from Wavy, it's definitely got some crazy
Yeah.
like 30-year base or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. So first you have this smaller base that it just broke out of, like this. If you want to draw it like this,
Yeah.
draw it with closes.
You get confirmation at the prior cycle high though.
Yep, and then you're dealing with this, right? So this is the one you really need to see to call it a breakout. And we haven't quite proven it yet, but let's pretend it does break out because there's a very good chance that it will. Where usually your target goes up at 172,
Yeah.
almost
Not a bad move
1.
for a utility stock.
Yeah, not at all. But utilities all of a sudden acting like they're semiconductors or something, just absolutely ripping.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, look at like XLU, just
yeah.
gorgeous here, right? And
It
some of the
is.
components you look at, like the move from CEG last week, it's just really, really strong. Look
Definitely.
at this thing.
Broad strength.
Yeah.
It's
So I'm
really
sorry.
an interest rate story too, Patrick.
Yeah. What was the ticker for Wavies?
Wavy's ticker was ETR.
ETR.
Yeah.
Entergy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty straightforward. If you get the breakout above 135, you're playing it back to 172, or you're
Yeah.
playing it to 172. But this thing's gone nowhere since COVID, and looks like it wants to make up for lost time.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, how much is it up this year, Patrick? Like,
Ooh, it's a good question.
this thing's gone up a lot.
A lot. That's how much it's up. It's up a lot.
Yeah.
30%.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah.
Has some good momentum behind it.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Wavy McFly. Next up is Danny. He wants to look at FAF.
FAF.
Yep. So that's First American Financial Corporation. A little bit above $6 billion specialty insurance stock. Really nice primary trend reversal here, though, Patrick. You can trade that base, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Looks
64 or so.
Yeah, and it looks like it's trying to retest it.
Yeah.
So you got the breakout a few weeks ago. Here we are kind of retesting it. I wouldn't let it get too far below like 63, 60, 62. Then you're back in this mess. And this is sure
Right. You don't want to be involved in that mess.
Right. And then, kind of back to what I was saying before about that basing process. They'll just make it impossible for you to pick that bottom, right? Because you could have seen this happening and bought this trend line break, when it broke this trend line. But then what? Yeah, sure, you get this nice move, but it's not just going back straight up to the all-time high after the trend line break. It's gonna really just wear people out before then.
Right.
But I like this. I like that you did get the breakout here. It needs to hold. If it does,
Ooh, that's 61.8.
coming in right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Makes
Nice
sense that
strength above 67
good.
too. That
Yeah.
could be a good trade.
Yeah. So I think that's the move. So 67 gets you to 81 or 80s.
I
That's
like
the
that.
move here. Yeah, this needs to be cleared, but if it does, then you're looking at return back to the all-time highs. And that's when the fun really starts, because that
Yeah.
completed the base, and then you're looking at the extension for the target up at 105 here. So that's how I'd play that one.
Definitely. Cool. Nice chart. I can't say I've ever looked at that one before.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. So Jonathan's asking to look at QFIN.
Okay. So this is one I'm pretty sure JC brought this one up on the morning show today.
Yeah. This one's Chinese. $4.3 billion dollars. It looks like it's a credit services provider
Yeah.
in China. Nice
And
looking chart.
Chinese stocks, man, they really woke up today, didn't they?
Yeah.
I get on Twitter this morning, I see everyone talking about Chinese stocks. I'm like, what is everyone losing their mind about? Because I pull up the charts and like KWeb, for example, right? I didn't even see this forming because at the time it was just like a tiny little blip. And I was just looking at this candle. I was like, what is everyone, so excited about? But look at this thing, man. This is a gap.
So this is the best day since when, Patrick?
Ooh, that's a great question. Okay.
2022?
Yeah, at least, right? Yeah, we'll see how it closes, but looks like it's trying for that.
Yeah. You'd love to see some follow through on this action tomorrow as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, it makes sense to be looking at Chinese stocks right now.
It does.
They started kind of working earlier this year, but they didn't, they came right back down, but they didn't make a new low. And I think that was kind of the interesting thing there, is they had their chance to break down.
Check out how this one was getting overbought earlier.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's wild.
The relative strength here is off the charts, Patrick.
Right, yeah.
This one was moving before you got that KWeb move today.
Yep. And then, of course, you get the nice breakaway gap here today, right?
Yeah, love to see that gap and go.
Yep.
The best ones don't retest the base. So
I like that.
That's the case here. Maybe we're going
best ones
to
don't retest.
Is that 45?
The all-time high, yeah, around there.
45?
44. Yeah.
That's a great trade there.
Yeah. 20 above 25 or 26 gets you to 43.
Yeah.
Looks good.
I like this one a lot.
I'm sure a fib would probably align with this if we did it. What do we got after this one?
Shout out Jonathan for bringing the Q fin. That was
Sam, I'm always impressed at the ideas I find down here. They're usually really nice setups, and our audience knows what we like. They really do. They know we like big bases and strong primary uptrends. and all that.
I love that. Shout out audience. So next we have one HWM with a 6 month time frame. I'm not sure who sent this one in, but this is a $40 billion aerospace and defense stock.
Wow.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, so the time to be getting involved in this one was over here. It doesn't mean it can't go up still, but man, we always talk about these big bases breaking out, and this is why, because when they do, they can just go on these multi-year runs where it gets really hard to get back in them if you miss the breakout. So with this one, I'm sure if we fibbed it out, it's probably hitting some big extension here or approaching
No,
it.
not yet.
Yeah, so I think you want to stay long if you're long up until 113.
Also, weekly RSI too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, this thing's been overbought for so long, Patrick.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And you know what? Yes, this is diverging.
No, it's a regime, Patrick.
Yeah,
Ignore
absolutely.
the divergence.
You took it out of my mouth. This is exactly what you want to see, right? You know, it gets overbought and then doesn't even pull back that much. And it's just, as Sam said, this is a bullish momentum regime. It's more about that, you know, does it have momentum or not? And it does, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think you want to stay along this one till 113. If you're looking a little more tactically and, you know, maybe your shorter time frame, you could also do that too. I wouldn't get too cute with this one. I don't think this is probably one that you want to be too short term on, but if you really wanted, you know, maybe that's your risk level, 97, and not let it get too far below 96 there, and then look at 113 as your target. I think that's reasonable too.
Oh, this is a killer chart, though. Aerospace and defense has been popping off. Has that been showing up on the buzz?
Yeah, absolutely. So not so much on the buzz. It's not so much that people are really noticing it yet. But we did have some earlier this year. We did, yeah. Especially around the time when like Boeing, you know, when a lot of that was
Yes.
all over the news earlier this year. But this is the Aerospace and Defense ETF, ITA. You can see got the breakout actually at the end of last year, and it's just been steady Eddie since then. You can look at XAR, that's kind of the more equally weighted one. Also doing great things here, hitting all-time highs.
Yeah. It's one of the best places to be inside of industrials, is the aerospace and defense.
Is that right?
Definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
But what would you say is better, Patrick?
Well, no, I'm just wondering what like time frame you're looking at. So like over the past 6 months, past year.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
since we've gotten this breakout. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So is that it for the mailbag? Or do we,
Let's finish with Jackson Financial. So this is almost $7 billion life insurance stock.
I know this one well.
Yeah, hitting that 261.8, it looks like.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this one, we don't even have to redraw it here. You got the breakout at the end of last year, hit its first target and barely spent any time there. Didn't really consolidate there. Yeah, it kind of threw back to it a little bit, but that only lasted a couple weeks. And then here you are running into this one. Now this is a case where I do worry about the divergence a little bit. You know, before, yes, it is in a bullish momentum regime, but within that, you still could see a pullback here, and it would still be in a bullish momentum regime probably.
Right. You want to see the new high in absolute terms be confirmed with a new high.
Yeah,
or at least an overbought reading on the
Yeah,
odds.
it's not getting overbought.
Yeah.
I think that's the red flag here.
Yeah.
And you can just see, just by eyeballing it without even looking at the RSI, that the rate of trend, you know, the momentum is kind of starting to slow. It's kind of starting to stall a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You had a couple bad weeks in there. So this one, I think, is at risk of falling back down to 62. Now, if we do chop around here, consolidate, that divergence kind of takes care of itself. then you're looking at 126. But it
hundred
really,
dollar roll. This
yeah,
could be a good one.
there you go. Yeah,
Yeah. Give it some time here. Buy a fresh leg higher.
yeah,
Targeting that next extension level. I like that. I think that's the move. But
yeah.
I think you're right that it could take some time to digest some gains here. I mean, look at this run
Right.
it's had, Patrick.
Let me ask you this: Do you think we see 126 before we see 62 or
Yeah, I do.
63?
Yeah. This is a monster
Really?
uptrend, but I think it could digest several weeks here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
This is a life insurance stock too. So like let it breathe a little bit,
right,
Patrick.
right. I mean, financials have been so strong, and even within financials, the insurance stocks kind of act like a safe haven. So even when the financials have been correcting, you've seen insurance stocks hold up relatively well. So
Right. Absolutely.
definitely the right space to be in here.
Yep. Berkshire Hathaway,
Yep, Berk B.
the biggest of them all.
So I know we're running out of time here.
We are. Yes.
Do we have any in
That is it, Patrick.
in the chat?
The
Nothing?
entire mailbag. I don't think we're gonna have time to get to any in the YouTube chat today. Sorry about that. Please send us an email if you want us to cover your ticker next time. What's the email, Patrick?
It's questions at stockmarketmedia.com. But Sam, before we go, do you have a favorite from today?
A favorite from today? Yeah, I think it's the QFIN. I think that's a
QFIN?
really interesting chart. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I could see that. And especially given how China is all of a sudden working again.
Yeah. This
I
looks
think
nothing like China. This really stands out, is the thing. That's what
right,
I like.
right. Yeah, yeah. You're talking about relative strength in it.
Yeah.
And this was working before China just started working just today. So
Yeah.
that's absolutely great call there. For mine, I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look at some, but I think probably the EQIX. I like that this one already failed. So is it going to fail again? It's already proving that it really wants this. It came back from that. So you got RSI acting well here. Yes, it hasn't gotten oversold on this leg, but it didn't, I'm sorry, overbought, but it didn't get oversold here. So that is bullish to me. I like this one. If it's above 885, looks good too.
I love the
11,
data
26.
center REIT tailwind also.
Yeah. Yeah. Two themes working, right? You
Yeah.
have real estate and tech. But thank you guys so much for watching. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday. So be sure to email us with your tickers and we will make sure to look at them first on Thursday. Thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody.